Hello, Wonder here, War Divisions Global, June 19th. Today I'm going to be taking a look at some PvP. I made 2 videos so far, Brutal Iron Giant difficulty, all missions clear with under-leveled units and non-meta units. That was really popular and helped a lot of people. And also my most recent Aileen display of her taking on 3 units by herself at only level 87 was pretty popular, and a lot of people had questions about how I gear her and build her, etc., etc. It seems like a lot of free-to-play and under-leveled people like to or appreciate the content I produce because it's a little bit more detailed and it's something perhaps you guys can relate to. So here we go. I'm going to be going over strictly the new arena map today. My half meta, but more or less extremely undergeared team. I don't have the best espers or the best vision cards. And my Razal Gethi I could even max because Black Spirit Sand, I was missing it. I couldn't farm enough. On the final day, I farmed for like 15 hours. I didn't get all the Spirit Sand I needed to awaken everything. Even my Fireball Esper, you can see here, is only 3 out of 10 resonance with Lucia. So you might think Lucia is a meta unit, but my Lucia is not optimized yet. And then my Gilgamesh is optimized, but only for level 65 because I refuse to spend any rainbow fragments on him. So we're going to be going over PvP today, and I'm going to be taking on all people with higher stats and higher attack ratings than me, which you'll see on the bottom here. All right, this is match number 1 for the day. I'm going to show you all 5 of my matches from today. And my attack and magic add up to 2048, and the other guys adds up to 2300. So as you can see, I'm out matched by 250 points. So my mindset when I go into this is that I have inferior equipment and inferior espers and perhaps inferior units. So I need to outplay and out-strategize. And after playing the first week of this map and getting completely shit on, I had to rework my strategy. And so I decided to put Mont towards the inside of the ramp. Put him in the front, he runs down really quick, which was really nice because he gets into the battle. But then oftentimes my units on the inside wouldn't be able to catch up to the fight in the front. I found a significant increase in my success playing this way. My whole new strategy centers around staying up top as long as possible. Let's just go like old school war tactics, right? You want the high ground. I mean, in this game, you can shoot up with archers, so I mean, but for the most part, as long as I stay up, they have to enter my line of sight, especially for their units who cannot attack up and down. So it's very beneficial for them to enter all of my units' line of sight one by one. That's what my whole strategy centers around. And I also don't have Frederica, and I also don't have a very strong Lucia. So I realized that by putting someone in like Gilgamesh, I can attack twice with my Lucia. It's like I have two gunners or two hunters, rangers, whatever they're called. Sorry, I play other RPGs, stuff like that. But if you can see right here, I start off with 2 shots, right? Sharpshoot followed by a quicken to finish off the one person I was attacking. And then I do throw on Rallying Cry or Mont's TMR onto him because what it does is, traditionally speaking, you don't want to throw that on to your tank because you want your tank to run it. But because my strategy centers completely around staying up top, I want my Mont to just joke around up top and buff my whole team. That way he stays up there while my Lucia weakens the other units, hopefully taking out 1 or maybe 2 if I'm really, really lucky. And then after he stays up there, he's going to go ahead and Immortal Spirit. And then he's ready to charge him. But by that time, my whole team's ready to go in all at the same time, or really quick units on the other side come up my ramp. If you take a look right here, I have a total offensive rating of 2048. The other guy's 2513, but playing with this high ground strategy, I've been able to match up against people with significantly stronger units, equipment, espers, etc. Because they can't attack. The only units that I can attack are other gunners, which for the most part I avoid, but I fight some of them. It just depends. I don't like going against two gunners because that's just out meta, right? So I'll do one, but more or less you want to play to your own strengths because, well, there's no point in playing to a disadvantage in a game that largely depends on, or a game that it can be affected by money. So right here, again, this guy out stats me. You'll see my whole Lucia attack and then get quickened and then repeat again. Or right here in this case, then it gets to attack for the first time after buffing, which is very beneficial. It's the only way she can go against a unit like, for example, Frederica, if that ever happens. You won't see that today, but the quick on Mont's really nice too because it allows him to cover his 2 rallying cries and then get a quick Immortal Spirit. The only drawback of my strategy is if the other team is too fast, then Mont skips his Immortal Spirit, as you see right here. And that's generally worst case scenario. That courage, that guts you get from Immortal Spirit makes big sharpshoot right there, right? I thought I might have caught up right here. I knew I was in danger when both the Mont and the Orlando were still alive. And then, of course, Orlando, super strong. Takes me out. This is my one loss. But if you can see, as a player who plays free-to-play with under-leveled units, or in this case, Gilgamesh being under-leveled, under-equipped, under-espered characters, I don't complain about my situation. Instead, I think about what can I do to allow me to match up and be competitive. So I am playing in the top 10,000 in ranking right now. I know that's not, top 100 or top 1,000, whatever, right? This video isn't for top 100 people. It's not for top 1,000 people. You guys already know what you're doing for your stuff, and you have the equipment or not for it. This video is mainly out there just to help the community, or anyone that might be able to empathize with me or find themselves in difficulty because of their gear and their espers. Try to stay up top. I only have one TMR, that's Mont's, and that's good enough to buy the time I need. If you want to play my exact strategy and you don't have Gilgamesh, the perfect unit for this would be an SR unit named Phoebe. She's also a time mage and she has Quicken as well, which only takes fully awakening her to access. It's not too bad for a SR unit. Right here, again, staying up top is just super powerful, as you can see in most of my fights. I have all my units, or majority of my units left before any significant conflict happens. Right here, I get kind of worried because, man, I'm never afraid of Gafgarian, but he takes out Lucia, and I know my Gilgamesh is under-leveled, and Gafgarian healed from the counterattack, but luckily my Gilgamesh is quick enough to outpace Gafgarian. Sorry about that sound, that's street cleaning. That happens every Friday. Let's take a look at this next match and final match. Okay, the other guy has 2300 again, out matching me by over 250. So Lucia backs up, she's faster. So I know that the fastest person is going to act first. So I know that the quicken's going to happen on the closest character, Lucia, and then Lucia's going to act after, and she's going to go ahead and either attack or buff, right? Mont goes third, but then he can't travel all the way to Gilgamesh to buff him and Lucia at the same time, so he has to buff them separately, and that buys me extra time because it takes away one of Mont's turns running forward and keeps him back an extra turn, so he stays back for about 3 turns. Again, I lose my Immortal Spirit here because the other Mont rushes up, and that's the only situation where it gets a little dicey. But by then, my Mont has stayed up and charged his AP, and that can be very beneficial because then you'll see your Mont going in with like a Killer Blade, or even better, a Taunting Blade, and getting 2 hits, right? Hitting 2 units at the same time. Right here, I kind of worry. It's the second time Ramza throws an ultimate, but luckily I get a little reflex out of Lucia, and I knew I had it in the bag at that point. Alright, let's just watch, see how this plays out. I do have the awakening materials to fully awaken, or 6th awakening Gilgamesh, but I refuse to use rainbow fragments on a unit that I can't get to level 89. And so he's LB3 right now. He's about 100 shards away from LB4. So I'm just not going to spend that as a free-to-play player. I have to be very conservative with my resources. That way, when I absolutely need a unit, I can utilize that unit. Like I stocked up. So as you can see, right here, I started my day at 83.94, and after 5 matches, I win 4 out of 5, and I ended with 39.46. So that's good enough to be in the top 4,000 as a severely undergeared, under-espered player. It's possible if you work with what you have. And then if you stay tuned, I have a little after the credits fight. I hope you guys enjoyed the PvP matches. Right here is a little extra credit fight, a little guild battle match with my Aileen for the fans, because you guys seem to really like Aileen and see my Aileen in play in this meta. This is yesterday's guild battle. I play someone equally matched to me this time. That's my first fight. So in guild battle, my strategy is a little different. My goal with guild battle is to take out two people at all costs. But secondarily, 2 people with as high of offensive ratings as possible. Because my guild has a lot of weaker people, or people that even don't participate. Only like 11 out of 26 people participate in a guild that I belong to. So I need to do my part in taking out the strongest opponents. I put in this situation Mont's TMR on Aileen because I need Aileen to charge her AP a little bit more. I also need her to buff so she doesn't run in first. And right there is a little Aileen display, right? Aileen her weakness is she's slow, and she doesn't have mobility. That is twofold, slow and no mobility. So it's hard for her to get close. So it's just absolutely integral that you make sure your Nighthawk is maxed out, your Sharp Spear is maxed out, your passives are maxed out. That way Aileen can participate before she gets close. So as she's running and she's throwing, running and throwing, running and throwing, right? Very like Greco-Roman war movie style.